I'm gonna record a quick 5-minute video. This is the most dumbest thing I've ever done, but I still want to. I want to get this out before my parents get home, and my mom and my dad. My mom's bringing my dad home. I'll be right back. It's down. It's because I had to get off because I saw my mom coming. Alright guys, so, well, basically, he would, let's move on to where they have to fight Shigaraki and, the Nomu. Christian would go out and go, charging up black flames from his hands, from his left hand, going, but missing the Nomu. He says, just what I needed. Then creates a fire spear and sticks it into the ground and spins himself. Propels himself towards the Nomu. The Nomu is about to collide with his face, but then he wraps himself around the Nomu's arm and spins under it. Then he just touches the Nomu on the back, and the fight's over. He jumps away. Then he says, now to wait. He says, what did that brat do to the Nomu? Is what Shigaraki says. Christian says, oh, don't worry. One hit from someone will end that thing, and I'm not going to be the one doing it. When All Might arrives, he punches the thing once and it explodes in black flames. He says, ah. As his hand's being burned, Christian retracts the flames from All Might and says, that's better. He says, so this is what you were planning, you brat. You implanted black flames inside the Nomu, so they would burn his inside, so then one shot would kill him. Christian says, you're smart, Shigaraki. Or should I say, Tenko Shimura. All Might is shocked, and so is Shigaraki. Shigaraki rushes at him in pure rage, saying, how do you know my real name? He's decaying his face. Christian goes, ah. As he's being choked up in the air, as his neck is being decayed, All Might punches him so far that he gets Detroit smashed. Christian's neck is, you can see, like, the spinal cord in his neck. It's like a hole in his neck, and there's also a hole, and his face is like full and decayed, so he puts on a mask so no one can see his ugly face now, and he wraps something around his neck, and Recovery Girl heals him. Recovery Girl would not want to kiss a hole in someone's throat, so she just kissed the side of it, to heal it, because that's absolutely disgusting to kiss someone in the middle of a hole. So with that over, he's full and healed. All his face that was decayed is finally back on. He goes, hi guys, I'm glad you didn't see my face when it was decayed. That sucked. Everyone kinda scared to fight him now during any fights. Racer announces a sports festival and no one wants to fight Christian because they think that he's going to do a tactic on them by touching them on the back. He's going to plant black flames to destroy all their organs, and with one shot he's going to kill them. Christian tells them that he's not going to use that technique. Only if a villain transforms into one of you, and I know it is, I'm going to burn their insides and then blast them into the stratosphere. They all are pretty relieved except for Bakugo and Todoroki. They don't really give a crap. Christian's still trying to control how he uses it. How he uses his black flames and how much he can retract. He shoots at home, outside he flames an entire house. That is his house. That he retracts the flames. But then he starts to get burns on his hands. He goes, looks like I can't retract that much. Then he decides to make more high pressured blasts. So he shortens it so that it's weaker but much faster, and he can go like a fire whip. He also wants to do fire manipulation, which means he can make fire swords. He can also make like a Goku black fire sword out of his hand. He also wants to make it like weapons out of it, like knives, daggers, swords, crossbows, and like a bow would be pretty cool, like. With this over with, Christian would probably fight till the end of time, training till the next day they get ready for the sports festival. It's the first one is the race. Christian blasts off, going, making it into the entrance, making it already, well actually tied with Todoroki and Bakugo. as he's trying, and he's barely even trying with it. Like, he's barely even floating. He's not even, and he's only using his legs to float. And he's blasting, doing the same thing. When Deku catches up with him and he's way in front of them, Christian says, so, you want to Bakugo and Todoroki go way faster? Christian says, I'll observe for a little bit. This is Zuko Midoriya. Christian looks and says, oh crap, I'm gonna get surpassed soon. He puts fire in his hands and blasts forward at full speed. A black and purple light flashes past Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku, and they see it. Christian's like, ah! Making it finally. And he places first. Next is the cavalry battle. You know what? No, I just realized the cavalry battle is random. So I'm going to say it's a relay race. I'm just going to say it's a big relay race. And Christian, and you have to team up with someone. Christian decides he wants to team up with the fastest. So Midoriya, because Midoriya, he wants to team up actually with Midoriya, Ojako, and Ida. This is like the brand new Deku squad. Christian says, you guys want to work together? We're all pretty fast if you think about it. Deku says, how's Uraraka fast? Christian says, rude, but also because she can release the gravity on her feet, which makes us much faster. She can lighten up our shoes. Wait, can't she lighten us up in general? He says, yeah, but that would just launch you guys up like leaves. Christian says, yeah, we'd just be sticks. Sitting ducks. Me and Ida's quirk is probably the best to propel us. And remember, this is a one-man relay race, which means me and Deku have to go. Christian goes to the front to where, like, it ends. To where, like, the final person races. Deku's the first person to run. And it's Christian, Bakugo, and Todoroki in the front lines. And also Tokoyami in the front lines. Then Midnight says, start! Then everyone rushes. Uraraka, Ida is already getting them a pretty good start with a Receptro run going, handing it to Uraraka, being the first one. Uraraka lightens up her shoes and blasts off at full speed, going, but then she decides and breaks a piece of the arena, putting it on and racing on it like a surfboard, and gives the thing to Deku. Deku rushes going, putting power in his legs, while Mina is running against Deku, so is Kaminari and Kirishima. They go, because Mina and Bakugo and Kirishima would not be on the same team. Kirishima would be running to Bakugo, while Mina would be running to Momo. Mina would be running to ya boy, Tokoyami. Deku would go, Christian is already charging up black flames, Todoroki's already charging up his ice, and Bakugo is already charging up explosions, and we don't really know what Tokoyami can do. Then Deku gives it to him, and they all get it at the same time. Christian decides, hey, no one else is gonna touch it, puts it in his mouth and goes, and blasts off. They all go at full speed. They say, President Mike goes, Christian is actually going with the baton in his mouth. Such a smart strategy since no one else is touching that after that. Like, literally, it's not just to say that because he put it in his mouth. He means, like, no one else is going to touch it because there's no one else in the relay race. What a smart strategist. Christian goes, and makes it. First place. Well, actually, they're all tied. Christian goes, more power! Then he says, plus ultra! Blasting off. Until he finally makes it. First place. Well, actually, they're all tied. Christian goes, I won't lose to you! Then blasts off. And then makes it. First damn place. Team Deku gets thing, and now it's time for the one-on-ones tournament. It's Christian versus Tokoyami. When it starts, Christian says, Jet Toba! Launching a jet burn, which hits Tokoyami, but Christian doesn't know how to counter him, so he says, How can I counter this guy? Christian goes, oh yeah. He blasts forward with his feet, and Tokoyami goes for strike with Dark Shadow. Christian goes, and for me, I'm just waiting. In the end, I'm just waiting, and grabs Dark Shadow's head and floats out and like blasts over it like Bakugo did to him, going, then spins around and goes, fire tornado, and puts his hand on the ground where Tokoyami is and lights him on fire in a fire tornado. He goes, help me, and Tokoyami's defeated. Christian says, I'll be having chicken for dinner. He goes, kidding. I would not need a comrade. He goes, Jitaban. And that just ends him. And with a jet burn defeats Tokoyami. Let's just go into the semi-final match. Christian Izuku Midoriya. What if I get some weird memories from My Hero Academia? When I used to call it My Hero Academy. My Hero Academy. I don't know why I used to call it that. It was clearly My Hero Academia. And I remember weirdly, it was like Bakugo, Todoroki, Midoriya, who I thought his name was actually Deku. And I saw them doing a race. Doing like a thing to like destroy robots, who could destroy the most, and Bakugo did it, but he didn't destroy too much. I'm not sure, it was pretty cool. I remember, it was like, I thought it was like the brand new anime or something, and I didn't notice, but that was sick, bro. It looks way different than it does now. I have a faint memory of it, but whatever, let's get back into this. So, with the defeat of Tokonoyami, we're gonna go into the semifinals, which is Christian, Todoroki, Ida, and Bakugo. Christian versus Ida starts off. Christian says, all I have to do is burn his receptors, overheat them, and make gas come out of them. Christian shoots a fire blast at Ida. Remember fire blast? He goes, and smacks it down. Ida bursts out of the way. Christian says, but then Ida kicks Christian in the face, and then brings him outside of the arena. No one realizes where Christian is. Midnight says, Christian loses! But then, when Christian's on the ground with Ida, he says, Ida's about to say good match. Christian turns his fingers to the left. Forward. He says, Ida looks around and sees Christian standing, saying, is that all you got? Yeah. He goes, oh. But then there's no more Christian there. Christian shoots a fire blast, knocking Ida out of there. He goes, Christmas. Then it's time for Bakugo and Todoroki, and Bakugo would, of course, I'm gonna say Todoroki would win this. But I'm gonna go with Bakugo. He says, bring it on, Black Fire Boy. Christian goes, ga-ga, and snaps his fingers multiple times, doing like a ritual dance, going, doo. He says, what is that, you stupid idiot? But then all kinds of, like millions of crows coming and going in front of Bakugo's face, hitting his face with their feet, going, ga, ga, ga. He says, crow tornado. It's me not even having to use my quirk. Now for the black fire. I've trained these crows to absorb the black fire and launch it themselves. He shoots it, and the crows shoot it at him from every angle. He goes, ah! Then they reverse it, and he goes, Bakugo goes for a punch, and goes for an explosion in his face, but then he's stabbed to his stomach by something. He goes, Plah! Christian says, flame control sword. Just like Sasuke's. He goes, Plah! Christian says, how does this feel? Then twists it to his stomach. Then throws Bakugo out of the ring, saying, well, that was my most ruthless attack. And guys, that is it. This is the luckiest